welcome to our living room, and welcome to the bonus round of From the Disney Couch. Tonight we are looking at the unlikely partnerships.
Oh, my speciality.
Yes, so what are we talking about when we say unlikely partnership?
Well, unlikely partnerships aren't necessarily a trope that you might consider in a Disney movie, but when you look at all of them, especially the newer ones, you'll see that they're very common. You got two characters, generally polar opposites, don't like each other at all, but for some reason, based on bribery, usually, they are stuck with each other and they are forced to work together to solve each other's problems. And, you know, of course, because it's the Disney movie, throughout the course of their journey, they become friends, and then eventually they stick together out of choice.
Yeah.
And we suffered through all 56 of the Disney movies under Gyra's intense scrutiny of whether something qualified as an unlikely partnership.
I invented this term!
They couldn't even be like an odd couple or, you know, unlikely partners.
Well,
She had some very specific parameters. So these are the ones that are Gyra approved.
that's right.
Yep. And we found 19 of them out of 56 movies.
Wow.
And they really just started mostly in the second half. So mostly after The Little Mermaid, they're there. So
This is when Disney's figuring out how to tell a good story.
I guess so, yeah. And when the buddy comedy came into vogue, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing we discovered was there's never any occasions when there's two characters who don't like each other and are forced to work together, and at the end of the movie, they still can't stand each other. That doesn't happen.
That's true.
It's because they always go through peril. It tends to bond two people.
Yes.
It would be a very depressing movie if they parted ways and were not friends.
Yes.
Just couldn't stand
Thank
each
God,
other.
never have to see you again.
Yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch them, we're going to vote for our favorites, and you can vote for your favorites as well. So back to back, all 19 unlikely partnerships that at least somebody can make a case for. We gave at least half a point to these ones. So here they come, you ready?
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Unlikely partnerships!
Shucks, any dog can take that. It's what they do to your happy home.
Okay, so is it Lady and Tramp that are unlikely?
Yeah, Lady and Tramp, because they start off and, you know, Tramp's, you know, not... Lady doesn't like Tramp.
I'm still not convinced with this one.
It was only half a point.
He's too charismatic.
To remove it, simply place the
See, this is what they're stuck with, right? She's got the
You
harness,
see?
and he can help her.
And he looked down on her, though. He was patronizing.
But she's so nice.
Did he respect her at the end? I think so.
Yeah, well, they loved each other at the end, had
Oh, they
kids,
had
so
puppies.
yeah, that counts.
Starting off on the right foot.
These are great characters.
They are.
This is very much probably based on the Odd Couple.
Yeah.
You know, you've got kind of the happy-go-lucky bear and the stiff upper lip panther.
Yep. And so they're brought together by their need to help Mowgli,
Yeah,
right?
they both care about Mowgli.
Yeah. And by the end of the movie, they get along with each other and they're pals.
They respect each other's differences. And yeah, what a great song.
Anyone want to take notes? Ew.
The Black Cauldron, yes.
Oh,
I
right.
love or hate this movie.
Yeah. Most people hate it.
Come on,
With good reason. So,
This is like Frodo and Gollum.
yep. So, Gurgi at the beginning, he's very
You should be
annoying.
ashamed of yourself.
And, you know, what's his lips doesn't like him. And then Gurgi gets on board with the quest for the Black Cauldron for reasons that are kind of unknown. I don't really know. And then at the end, they love each other. They're happy that he is alive. Yep. Little Mermaid got half a point for Sebastian and Ariel.
Okay.
Yeah. Sebastian, against his will, was tasked to look out for Ariel.
And then he's kind of like, ugh, okay.
Oh yeah, they did not like each other.
Yeah. But this was like 2 minutes.
They
Yeah.
they were only united in their love for Esmeralda.
That's
Yeah.
right.
But this was like 2 minutes of the movie. It was not the plot.
That's true. It
Yeah.
didn't really drive the
Yeah,
movie.
this was the point right here. When it is a great moment.
They're like the same there.
Yeah.
So good.
This house is so much
I
bigger.
know they have to work together.
They had to work together to make it happen.
And I think they like kissed each other at the end, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. In fact, they share a hug. Look at that.
Aww.
Well, a hug and a pat, anyway.
These like man hugs.
Okay, so Mushu and Mulan
Okay.
are the unlikely partners here.
Right.
Mushu is trying to prove himself to the ancestors. Mulan isn't terribly impressed right at the beginning, right?
Yeah, Mushu is not there to help Mulan. He's really there to help himself
Yeah.
at the beginning.
Yeah, he's very...
Dishonor.
And, I mean, Eddie Murphy.
Dishonor on your cow.
Eddie Murphy is that
And then
voice.
just like that, they get along.
Yeah, that's pretty much the turnaround right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then-
like right there?
Yeah, pretty much. It doesn't take
Yeah.
long for them to warm up to each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because-
they didn't really go through peril?
Who couldn't love Eddie
Well, they
Murphy? They did, but at that point they were already friends.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
That's why it's not that great.
I think we only gave it half a point. But there's enough there to count it. Because right here they're talking about how they're helping each other for different reasons, but they still want to be partners. Yeah. And then there comes the hug. Here's what we've noticed, is that there's usually a handshake moment and a hug moment.
Oh,
Yeah.
So-
a handshake will work together,
Yeah.
and a hug where the friendship is sealed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the hug. There it is.
Aww.
Aww. The hug usually comes at the end,
She
actually.
make it.
I promise.
You turned me into a llama. I don't make deals with business.
I just noticed his mouth totally blew
Yeah.
sideways.
This is
So-
such a good one.
Yeah, this is like the whole movie right here.
Yeah.
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 Okay, the handshake.
Yeah, so here's our handshake moment, right?
They do not trust each other.
Yep. And they reluctantly agree to work together.
And they're so opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
It's
other
totally
thing,
like, I don't care about you. I don't need you. I don't want to help you. And then they help each other.
And so much peril.
yep.
Oh yeah. Whole lot of peril.
Yeah.
Look at they literally have to work to survive in that one.
That's true.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh.
They still didn't like each other very much.
I forgot
But
about
then,
that scene.
hey, he comes back for him. And do they hug? Do they
Oh,
hug?
his ears go
Yeah.
flat.
You know,
That's cute.
when I
They just
said
get a little awkward.
Donna,
Aw.
Yeah.
I didn't really.
Oh, it's a total Maximus and Flynn Rider moment.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're right. We should go.
Oh,
There
hug.
it
Yeah.
is.
Well, not quite. Here. They get the full-on hug right at the end
As
of
a
the movie.
human.
Yeah.
Spoiler, if
They love
you've
each
seen it,
other.
he becomes human again.
Lilo and Stitch. So we gave it to Jamba and Pleakley.
They are not the protagonists, but they are certainly unlikely partners.
Yeah.
They do not want to work together. They're complete opposites.
Yeah.
But they've been forced to work together to try to recover Stitch.
Yeah.
And free themselves, right? From punishment,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, I think so. Well, Pleakley wants to preserve the mosquitoes on
Yeah.
planet Earth.
And Jumba wants to be free from prison.
Yeah.
He's so devious.
Who left?
And then by the end, they're all one big,
They're-
happy, weird
yeah.
alien family.
Did they ever hug?
I didn't find a hug moment, no.
But there was music.
What treasure planet?
Yep.
Yeah, this dude,
Yes.
remember?
Yeah,
We were
so
like,
Silver and
The protagonist and the
Hawkins.
antagonist.
I barely remember anything from this movie.
obviously didn't stick with you. This was one of those strange ones where you didn't know whether you loved that guy or hated him, or you
Yeah.
trusted him or didn't trust him.
Yeah.
Like the robot dude.
Yeah,
What's his name? John Silver?
yeah. John Silver.
Oh, John Silver. Right.
Yep.
Why's he got a rat
There it
tail?
is.
I know, I just noticed that too, Jairus got it.
There's the
Handshake and
handshake
a
moment,
hug.
and there's the hug.
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good hand animation.
And then he leaves to go be an outlaw.
Yeah, I think so. Something like
I
that.
literally don't remember any of Treasure Planet.
Ah, yes.
Okay, so we got Kenai and Coda.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's an
brother bear.
annoying kid.
Yep.
He doesn't necessarily hate him, but Kenai definitely hates Coda.
Yeah, and Coda wants to get to the salmon spawning grounds
To find his mom.
to find his mom.
Who Kenai killed?
Yes. Ooh.
Look, I can't find my mommy. Will you take me to the dam and run?
Ooh.
Why don't you just grow up?
Oh,
He's a kid!
Fine, go ahead.
and you killed his mom. Even though he doesn't know that. Even though the whole audience figured it out.
Yeah.
Oh man, so immature. Oh,
And there they are.
Yep. Now they're hugging.
oh,
Yay!
Yep.
They're friends. Did he stay a bear?
Yeah, he decides to.
Oh.
Okay, then we've got. Yeah, it's mostly Callahan and
What's her name?
Rosie O'Donnell.
I have a feeling I must have fallen asleep in this movie.
Probably, yeah.
I don't remember this scene.
Yeah.
And then
So
they're literally tied together.
yeah, so for a good chunk of the movie, they're roped together, and then this is the point where they get the chance to go away from each
Fine,
other.
fine,
They
fine.
have the fine battle.
Yes.
You want the money, and I want to get even with Slim.
Here's the deal.
Yes.
Together and we're sure to get
Wow, it's so blatant.
Yeah.
front gate and I'll stay out of it forever.
Yeah. Like, we'll never have to see each other again.
Here is the
Your
deal.
powers of persuasion are uncapped.
Oh, Judi Dench. Her voice is so fabulous.
They can't shake hands because they're cows.
Right.
But,
Yeah, but that's our handshake moment right there.
yeah.
And then, they go through peril together, right?
Well, it's your call, Calloway. Is this barnyard big enough for the both of us? Only if you let me wear the hat.
And
They
they're
share a
friends.
tender moment.
Yep.
Take us back to the science.
Oh, this is
That memory scanner.
Yeah. Okay, so Wilbur and
Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Wilbur's
Wait.
not. No. Yes, Wilbur and Lewis.
Yes.
Wilbur's
This
another
is
one of those
great.
people who's like just kind of slick, and he doesn't seem like he's getting rubbed the wrong way, but you can tell in this moment that he definitely is.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that they were both so immature that they fought over the steering wheel so much that they crashed the spaceship.
Yeah,
They're
that's true.
preteens.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like such a great, you
Yeah.
know,
So here's
juvenile moment.
their deal. Lewis fixes the time machine.
Handshake.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
Wilbur takes him to see his mom. And then Peril and friendships
Lewis has got quite a temper. And then a hug. I never thought my dad would be my best friend.
Never thought my dad would be my best friend.
Oh, that's really sweet.
So Bolt and Mittens.
Oh my goodness, so
Yes.
good.
Yeah. Bolt thinks that Mittens knows where Penny is.
Yeah.
Mittens wants to stay alive from the psychotic dog.
Yes,
Yes.
she is trapped with him.
Sponsored
Yeah.
by
She does
you.
not
They're
want to go
literally
with him.
tied together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
They can definitely tell they do not like each other. But
Road trip brings
Oh,
them together.
yeah.
yeah,
You know, nothing like a road trip. Then at the end of the movie,
they
look,
stay together.
they're one big happy family. Yeah.
And it's nice. She likes the mom.
Yeah.
Like the mom has got the big cozy lap.
Yep. And now they're on all the same selfies.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to scare you.
Now we're entering a phase of unlikely partnerships where they fall in love.
Yes.
And Prince.
Oh.
There was some antagonism right off the start there.
She did not want to be a frog.
Yes.
And then they're literally tied together.
Yes. With their tongues.
I guess you and your boyfriend got a little carried away, am I right?
You and your boyfriend.
I convince.
But eventually they warm up to each
How did the
other.
voice actors do that? Like, did they actually hold their tongues?
They must have, yeah.
This escalated pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it did.
I didn't
Because
quite
they
buy
did-
that love story.
They didn't get along over montage. They just suddenly, or I think it was over a song
Yeah.
that they got. And then they
All of a sudden, her eyes are kind of doughy looking.
and then they were in love.
Doughy.
But like, it's this part's so cute.
Frogs in love.
Okay.
Tangled.
Tangled. So we got Rapunzel and Flynn Rider.
He only cares for himself.
Yep.
Yeah, he wants his crown back.
He wants the riches.
Yep.
Yeah. She wants to see the lanterns.
Yeah. They. So this is neat because they both want something. It's not one getting pulled along against their will.
They're not
Yeah.
literally stuck together,
Yeah.
like in some cases, but
Yeah.
they definitely need each other.
Yeah, they both have something they need from each other.
Yep.
They don't necessarily hate each other as some unlikely partnerships do.
Right. Yeah.
Like, they get along pretty decently because they need each other and they need to be able to cooperate.
He thinks she's a little psycho,
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
and she
talks
thinks that he's dangerous.
Yeah. That's true. And he keeps on trying to con his way out of it.
Yep.
Yeah, because he thinks she's...
No handshake because he's tied up.
Yep. But there's our deal moment right
Yeah,
there.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And they go on the road trip.
I guess
Yeah.
the reason they weren't being so mad at each other is because she was having too much of a good time.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's this moment.
Oh, oh my gosh. That's such a great Disney movie moment.
Yeah. So there's our shared peril.
Look at that animation.
Yeah.
And his reactions to her afterwards are so good.
And
okay.
then at this point they're having a great old time, but they can't dance. He goes to the boats. And then he saves her life. He literally sacrifices himself, which is not something you see in every unlikely partnership.
Yeah. It's true. It brings it to a whole new level. And then they fall in love.
Look at all those lanterns. And he's still sassy.
We're living happily ever
Yeah.
after.
It's an unlikely partnership with happily ever after.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
This is going to be a tough choice for us.
I know. Alright, here's our deal moment. Vanellope needs Ralph
with that tiny handshake, I love
to
it.
bust into the place and make her a cart.
And he does it.
Ralph needs the medal.
Yeah.
She wins the race.
And then all of a sudden his heart is touched.
Yeah.
Like, I made something.
Yeah. And he gets to know that she's kind of like him. And he
Yeah.
has sympathy for
The
her.
underdog.
And then they
But,
go through
like,
stuff, and at the end,
It didn't
he
take
helps her
long
through.
before they liked each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's a softie underneath.
He is.
Yeah.
It's the hug. But
Yeah.
she's so small.
Alright.
This one.
I don't understand why he was so grumpy at the beginning.
Because he's a calloused Iceman.
Yes. He sells ice for a living.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
This
it's July.
one is a little less extreme.
Mhm.
They're kind of working towards the same goal in this case, which is to stop the winter.
Yeah.
Though Elsa's doing it out of love, and Kristoff's doing it because
You
it's
mean
his
Anna?
business. Yeah. Anna's doing it out of love, and Kristoff is doing it because he needs his business to survive.
Yeah. That's true.
And she tries to use her princess authority, and he's not interested in her princess
And
authority.
he just kind of guilts it into it because he wants a sled.
Yeah, pretty much.
And also deep down, he doesn't want some poor girl wandering the frozen wasteland alone.
But like, they didn't really hate each other. They had some great banter.
Yeah.
And then they fell in love.
Yep. At the end.
I'm sure it is. And it even has a cup holder.
Ooh, a cup holder.
Like it? I love it! I could kiss you.
And then they do.
I could. I mean, I'd like to. May I? We need? I mean, may we? Wait, what?
We may.
Another unlikely partnership turned into a kiss.
Love this one.
Yes. Zootopia.
I don't know. I don't really like it because he just did it for a carrot pen.
No, the carrot pen would have gotten her arrested.
Yeah, he wants to avoid going to jail.
Yes.
Gotten him arrested, you mean?
Yeah?
Yes.
Yes, you said her arrested.
Oh.
I'm so
Alright.
confused.
Yes. He wanted to avoid getting arrested.
She needs him for her case.
Mm-hmm.
And then she likes to pull him along because he was mean to her.
Yeah.
That's also part of it.
365 days a year since I was 12.
Actually, it's your word.
So she's got the bride.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is
His
definitely based
face.
on bribery.
I love it.
His like gulp face.
Cafeteria.
It's called a hustle, sweetheart. And then some peril.
Yeah,
Wow,
and
he's got
she,
good balance on one
she
foot.
saves his life, and then he saves her career.
Yeah.
Kind of right back to back.
And then they're friends. Just like that. They choose to stay together.
Yep, and by the end of the movie, they're partners.
Yeah.
And they have a great police car.
I love it. How did she reach the pedals? She's a bunny.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Okay, and then Moana.
yep. The ocean literally forces them to stick together in this case.
Yeah.
All right, get over it. We gotta move. And she's back.
I am Moana. of Motunui.
He's got some great ways of tossing her over.
And he tries to leave, and he can't. The ocean really knows that they're gonna make a good team.
And insult to
Well, he
injury.
can't even really leave anyway. Like,
Yeah.
he can't leave in the middle of the ocean.
Right. So Moana's bribing Maui with popularity. That's his motivation.
Restore the
And then a handshake.
Yeah, here it comes. Here's the handshake
First,
moment.
we get my hook.
The tattoo even
Yeah.
Deal.
like suggests it.
And then best handshake, yeah.
Worth a shot.
Then he leaves Peril, and he comes back,
Yay!
and he saves her.
Sacrifices.
He sacrifices his hook.
Yeah, at great personal risk, he comes back.
You came back.
Oh, you came back
And
in
then
case
the
we didn't
hug.
notice.
And there's the hug.
Wow.
So there it is.
Oh, this is gonna be hard.
All the unlikely partnerships.
They're all the same.
But which one is the best? We're gonna vote on them and be right back.
Alrighty.
Okay, well the votes are in.
Ooh, that was a tough one.
Hardest one yet for sure.
Yeah.
It makes me realize that Disney is really good at writing some great characters, some great partnerships
Yeah.
Yeah.
that connect with the audience. But I went with Zootopia. The reason why I went with Zootopia is because they really went for the fact that they are so unlikely. You've got a predator and a prey, a sly fox and a cute little fuzzy bunny. You have a criminal and a police officer. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just so opposite, so unlikely, and yet by the end, they are literally partners.
That's a good one, too.
Right. And it's also a big bribery on that one. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very much bribery driven.
Yes.
More like
You-
blackmail.
Yeah, you don't help me, you're going to jail.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, that's a good one, too. But I went for the Emperor's New Groove. The reason why I went for this one, because when we watched this movie, we were so excited. We were just like, yay, it's finally an unlikely partnership. And yeah, it's just really ideal. You have two opposite people, then they make a deal, then it's just like, haha, just kidding, and then we're just like, okay, actually, I want to do the deal. And so, like, you have, like, this whole deal, and they literally, like, hate each other, but then by the end, they're great pals.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, and like, I bet the king never would have thought he'd ever be, or emperor ever would have thought he'd be friends with a peasant.
Yeah. That's true. Okay, well that was definitely up there for me, as was Zootopia, but ultimately, after really agonizing through it, I decided to go with Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph has most of the things. It's the main characters that are involved in the partnership. There is definitely some bribery happening. They're both working toward the same goal. They really disliked each other at the beginning. There was a lot of, antagonism there. They had the deal moment right down to the handshake. Really good hug at the end. And, they're pals at the end. And I also really enjoyed the relationship between Ralph and Vanellope. I thought that was a really fun one. They had a lot of good banter. And, so...
He's so huge and she's so tiny.
Yeah. So I'm going with Wreck-It Ralph.
After much deliberation over my own criteria, I went with Moana.
Ah.
This one's honestly probably one of my favorites, come to think of it. I really love their banter. So much. But I did come up with my own criteria of, some
right.
of...
That's quite a chart.
Yeah, some of my... it's a little complex. Some of my favorite elements of an unlikely partnership. The unlikely partnership lasts throughout the entire plot, and it's not till, real close to the end that they actually like each other. And they hate each other. I think that's good rather than they just kind of don't get along. But if they're actually ugh, I like that. Those are good. And they go through significant peril. I think that's a very important element. And they have that classic handshake and hug like Daddy brought up. And they had a very good handshake because he threw her off the boat.
Yes.
And I think the sacrifice is one that a lot of these are missing,
Yeah.
where, in some cases you sacrifice your life, but in this case, Maui sacrifices his hook, which is his life, in
Yeah.
a sense, and that was a big sacrifice for him, and it showed
Ralph sacrificed himself for Penelope.
He did, and that was a real touching moment. Like, sacrifices really make these plots really touching.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, usually, in these, they'll have a fight, and then one will come back for the other. And generally the person will be like, you came back.
Yeah.
Almost every time, there will be that line.
Yep.
Following a formula.
Yep.
Yeah.
Moana's got a great unlikely partnership.
Yeah. I think those are the ingredients to make a really touching, unlikely partnership.
Alright,
So-
so pick something different.
So Disney Story Team, if you're paying attention, that's what gets votes. There you go.
Yeah. So here we have all of our contenders, but only 4 received Ultimate Disney points. We have The Emperor's New Groove, one of our oldest unlikely partnerships. We have, then we go all the way down to the bottom, to Wreck-It Ralph gets a point, Zootopia gets a point, and Moana gets a point. And now it's become more likely that they're the Ultimate Disney Champion. Well, it looks like that's all we got for today, so thank you very much for watching, and be sure to comment down below what you think is the best unlikely partnership, and whichever one gets the most votes will get a point on our Ultimate Disney chart. So be sure to comment and like and subscribe to see the rest of the Ultimate Disney bonus round. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Now can we? Oh wait.
We are the bonus feature.
This is the bonus feature.